So right now we're going to talk about the head of the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, which already sounds Orwellian. Homeland Security? That's how Russians used to talk when I was a kid, but now we do it. So the Department of Homeland Security guy in Washington, he went on this show at CNN. And by the way, I think they do that in Washington. And by the way, we're going to be in Des Moines, Omaha, and Kansas City this week. And then Irvine, California, and Las Vegas. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets. See ya. But here he is, and we caught him in a lie. Ready? So watch this.
Your department is calling the Disinformation Governance Board. You unveiled that this week. Republicans are calling it Orwellian and comparing it to the Ministry of Truth in the novel 1984. Can you clarify what exactly is this? What exactly will this Disinformation Governance Board do? Will it monitor American citizens?
Will it?
Dan, I'm very pleased to do so. It's clear. I mean, those criticisms are precisely the opposite of.
Now, remember, the question is, are you going to monitor U.S. citizens? And he doesn't answer the question. And then she acts, and good for her, she pushes back. But this is the guy, by the way, this is the guy in charge of censorship, whether what you could say or not on social media. Here's the guy. Here we go.
This small working group within the Department of Homeland Security will do. And I think we probably could have done a better job of communicating what it does and does not do. So the fact is that disinformation that creates a threat to the security of the homeland is our responsibility to address. And this department has been addressing it for years, throughout the years of the prior administration, and an ongoing basis. Disinformation from Russia,
right.
China.
We know the
Iran.
Problems, but it's still not clear to me how this governance board will act. What will it do?
So what it does is it works to ensure that the way in which we address threats, the connectivity between threats and acts of violence are addressed without infringing on free speech, protecting civil rights and civil liberties.
Oh, they're about protecting your free speech. I thought they were about censoring shit you can't say. Turns out, no, they're there to make sure you have liberty and freedom and free speech. You know,
that's good. I was worried.
I thought we already have that. I thought we already have that stuff.
A First Amendment?
Yeah, it's called the First Amendment. So that's why you know what he's saying is a lie. But that's not the big lie. Here comes the big lie.
The right of privacy. And the board, this working group, internal working group, will draw from best practices and communicate those best practices to the operators, because the board does not have operational authority.
Will American citizens be monitored?
No.
Guarantee that.
Okay, I'm going to back it up.
No.
They're not going to say what the best practices are to
American
us?
citizens be monitored?
Operational authority.
Will American citizens be monitored?
No.
Guarantee that.
So what we do, we in the Department of Homeland Security don't monitor American citizens.
You don't, but will this?
Okay, so that's the lie. So there it is. Huge lie. How do I know that's a huge lie? U.S. Homeland Security surveilling journalists covering Portland protests. Intelligence reports distributed to the federal agencies decried as violation of constitutional rights of the free press. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has been surveilling the work of American journalists reporting on the unrest in Portland, Oregon, circulating intelligence reports on them to other federal agencies in a move that has been decried as a clear violation of the constitutional rights to a free press. An episode that included collecting intelligence reports on journalists and unmasking private citizens, according to a source familiar with a recent internal report on the matter. That's what DHS was doing. More, Jamil Jaffer, director of the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University, posited that this was just the tip of the iceberg. An agency that is so cavalier about compiling intel reports about establishment figures like these is almost certainly compiling more comprehensive reports about others. Federal authorities can only browse through unprotected information on social media sites like Twitter and Facebook and other open online platforms. But a source familiar with the effort said it is not about decrypting data, but rather using outside entities who can legally access these private groups to gather large amounts of information that can help the DHS identify key narratives as they emerge.
Outsourcing. We won't be doing it.
We're not going to do it.
We don't torture. We send you to Syria.
Yeah, that's right. We'd send you to a black ops site in Afghanistan. You ever been to Bagram? It's beautiful this time of year. The plan being discussed inside the DHS now, according to multiple sources, would in effect allow the department to circumvent those limits. The department has considered partnering with research firms who have more visibility in this space, though it has not done so to this point, the sources said. So they're planning on it, and they have done it. So when he says, no, that's not what we do, that is what they did.
So wait, do they not even have best practices?
So what are the best practices?
I like that they say they're not going to be surveilling any American citizens. You can't technically qualified as surveilling American citizens if you call everyone that you censor a Russian asset.
All they have to do,
going to be there.
All they do is say you're a terrorist, which is what they go, oh, this guy's he's engaging in terrorism, and now you have no rights. And Barack Obama made sure of that when he signed the NDNA in 2011 that took away habeas corpus. And now they can throw you in jail, and all they have to do is say you're a terrorist, and they never have to charge you with a crime.
Mm-hmm. What's really incredible is, like, just with that tiny little bit of pushback there from CNN, you could tell he was stumbling over his words. He didn't know how to answer it. It reminded me of, like, when you're freshman year in high school and you have to give a book report about a book you didn't read, you know? And it was like, imagine if we had real journalists in this country who would actually pressure these people.
Imagine. It's left up to Rand Paul to confront that guy. Isn't that sad? It's left up to Rand Paul. A right-winger has to stand up for liberty and free speech. Amazing. We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at jimmydorcomedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.